Welcome to the Story Castle, the place where forgotten tales, ancient mysteries, and epic legends come back to life. Today, we unveil a gripping tale, 10 secrets of a medieval castle you didn't know about. From hidden staircases designed for defense to mysterious dungeons meant to erase you from history. Prepare to be transported behind the stone walls of the past, where every brick hides a secret. Let the story begin. The central halls. Yet during sieges, these same kitchens were fortified, as food storage became critical. Salted meats, dried legumes, pickled vegetables, preserved for months. Hunger was the real enemy. Castles breathed with life, held secrets behind every tapestry, and whispered truths through their empty halls. And as centuries passed, many were abandoned, their stones worn by wind, their stories buried beneath ivy and soil. Yet if you stand still in the right corner, close your eyes and listen, you might still hear the clang of armor, the creak of the drawbridge, the low murmur of ancient councils. So next time you pass a ruined tower or see a castle etched on a postcard, remember, what you see is only the surface. Beneath every fortress lies 1,000 untold stories, and you've just heard one of them. Thank you for listening to The Story Castle. If this journey through time sparked your imagination, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the story. We have many more hidden tales from history waiting for you. Until next time, keep seeking the stories carved in stone. If you enjoyed this journey through the forgotten halls of history, don't let the story end here. Subscribe to the Story Castle for more powerful tales, ancient mysteries, and hidden truths from the corners of the past. Like, comment, and share if you believe stories deserve to be remembered. Until next time, keep exploring the legends carved in stone. Deep within the fog-shrouded hills of medieval Europe, towering above a patchwork of fields and forests, stood the imposing silhouette of a stone giant, an ancient castle, centuries old, rich in secrets, mystery, and silent tales. Unlike the tales told in books or shown in films, real medieval castles were not just places of grandeur and royal opulence. They were living machines of defense, control, innovation, and survival. Their walls could talk. They'd whisper truths you've likely never heard before. And today, you're about to be immersed into the shadows of those massive gates, beyond the drawbridges, and into the very soul of these forgotten fortresses. From the outside, a castle might seem like just a grand structure built of stone, but every brick, every corridor, every hidden stairwell had a purpose. Did you know, for instance, that the staircases within most castles spiral clockwise not by design coincidence, but for a very calculated reason? Knights, typically right-handed, would defend their castle more easily, as attackers climbing the stairs would struggle to swing their swords in the confined spiral. The defenders, higher up, had more room to maneuver and gravity on their side. It was architectural chess, a deadly game played in stone. But the secrets don't end there. Beneath the castles lay dungeons, yes, but also escape tunnels. When invaders breached the outer defenses, kings and lords often slipped away unnoticed through these passageways. These tunnels sometimes extended for miles, connecting the castle to nearby monasteries or forests. Few knew about them. Those who did were sworn to silence or paid dearly to keep their mouths shut. Within the main walls, the Great Hall was the heart of social life, but it was also a surveillance tool. Nobles and knights gathered for meals under watchful eyes, while servants carried more than food. They carried gossip, intelligence, and secrets. It was here that alliances formed and failed, where decisions of war and peace echoed over roast meats, and aged wine. Castles were more than residences. They were symbols. A lord's power radiated from those stone walls. And yet, castles were also homes of terror. Have you heard of the oubliette? It was a type of dungeon accessible only from a hatch in a high ceiling. Prisoners were thrown in and forgotten, literally. No door, no ladder, just darkness, hunger, and silence. A slow disappearance from the world above. But not all secrets were sinister. Castles were hubs of innovation. Consider the ingenious design of murder holes, strategically placed openings above gates and passageways through which defenders would drop boiling oil, stones, or even burning sand on attackers below. Or the carpentry and pulley systems that allowed heavy portcullises to be raised in seconds, or dropped to seal off escape in a heartbeat. Water was life, and castles had to secure it above all. Wells were often built inside the central courtyard, but during siege, some castles had hidden channels diverting water from nearby rivers underground, ensuring a steady supply even under long attacks. Some of these aqueduct systems were so secretive, only the head engineer and lord knew of their existence. You might imagine castle life as romantic, dancing, feasts, and pageantry. But winter brought unimaginable cold. Thick tapestries were hung not for decoration, but insulation. Stone walls breathed frost. Servants would warm the lord's bed with pans of heated coals before he arrived. Hygiene? Far from what you'd expect. Toilets or garderobes emptied into the moats, making the water surrounding the castle both defense and disease. There were also the messages in the stones. Hidden symbols, family crests, and sacred geometry were etched into the walls to summon protection or signify allegiance. Some even believed Templar codes still lay dormant in these ancient places, unbroken for centuries. And then there's the sound. Each castle had a unique echo. Architects used acoustics not just for grandeur, but for security. Echoes were studied to detect movement in empty corridors or to signal through stone. Monks chanting in stone chapels created harmonies so powerful, the sound was said to heal or break. Every castle had its ghost stories, but some had living legends. Take the tale of Lady Althea, a noblewoman who disguised herself as a knight to defend her castle when her husband fell in battle. For weeks, she fought off invaders, only to disappear without a trace the night peace was declared. Some say she walks the ramparts still, her armor clinking in the moonlight. And what of the children? Young squires trained in these walls, learning swordplay, poetry, and politics. Girls, often married off young, were taught diplomacy, embroidery, and sometimes espionage. One letter dropped in the wrong hallway could shift the fate of kingdoms. Even kitchens were strategic. Their placement, often near the outer walls, allowed smoke to escape without clouding.